thank you so much, esteemed faculty, families, graduates, and especially the parents. This day belongs to all of you too. These graduates, these young adults with their whole lives ahead of them, except for Eldon Tarver. Eldon came back to the University of Texas and is graduating today at 75 years young. Way to go, Eldon! Wow, that's an inspiration. You're never too old, right, Eldon? But these kids, they were once your little babies, parents. I mean, you remember when you took them out of the hospital and you were like, they're just gonna let me walk out of here with this baby? Right? This is the kid that you stayed up with night after night. The one who cried when you dropped them off at sleepover camp. Come on, guys, you know you cried. And the one whose recitals and games you never missed. And look at them now. I know how proud you are of them, and you should be proud of yourselves too. They did it, and you did it too. I am so thrilled to have my own mom here today. She did not get to see me graduate from college because I didn't finish college. So Mom, here's the cap and gown moment you've been waiting for, 20 years later. From my perspective though, it's even better. It's better now because I have the honor to humbly sharing a few things I've learned with all of you. So you have heard, I'm Kendra Scott. The ladies here today, you may already know me, but gentlemen, someday, if you settle down, if and when, there might be a day you see my name on your family credit card statement. All you is happy wife, happy life, right, Jay? All of us here are incredibly fortunate. Today, this group of us, we are some of the luckiest people on the planet. Let's take a moment just to enjoy that. For one thing, we are in Austin, Texas! The coolest, the friendliest city in the world. And we're here together as families, as colleagues, as friends. There will never be another moment like this for us. So full of joy and promise, especially once we leave and get back out on MOPAC. So I'm going to try to speak very slowly so we can get past rush hour. So, graduates, you've worked hard. You've got a lot to be proud of. And I'm sure there's been many people who have helped you along the way. But now, it's your turn. It's your turn to begin working on your own success and the success of the people around you. You are graduating into a time like no other in history. The need for your talents, your enthusiasm, your generosity, and your commitment is enormous. For women, there has never been a better moment to be in business, to be an entrepreneur, to be a force in our communities, to run for office, to lift up those around us, and to break the barriers of the past. Starting my own business not that long ago was certainly hard times, but I found so much support from the women around me. Today, we are shining a light that's badly needed on the things that hold women back. And though change won't happen overnight, in your lifetimes, it will get better. All of you will make it better, because I believe that everyone here today recognizes that all of us, regardless of race or gender or anything else, deserve a shot. Everyone should have the same chances, and I know that no one believes that more fiercely than men do for their daughters, their friends, their sisters, and their wives. My husband, Matt, has always been my biggest supporter and my strongest ally. I love you so much, honey. Men play a huge role in women's success, just as we do in theirs. There's a gentleman here today who is an invaluable mentor to me, and I never miss a chance to thank him for seeing my potential, for believing in my vision, for knowing, just knowing that I'd make it. I'm talking about Steve Hicks, one of the great university's distinguished regents. Steve, thank you, not just for supporting me, but for quietly supporting a host of women-run businesses, and for being a champion of women's success. Steve was actually my very first investor when we were still a very young and growing business. Today, he not only has my undying gratitude, but, you know, he made a nice return on his investment. Men like Steve are making it better. Keep an open mind. Look beyond the exterior and see the talent and the drive inside of people. Not just because it's fair and right, but because it is good business too. Okay, before I get started on the advice, let's get back to the world you're entering now. Oil is up, unemployment is down, Amazon HQ2 bidding war is still continuing, although I'm kind of secretly hoping they don't pick Austin, but don't get me started on MOPAC again. Our leadership in Washington provides better entertainment than the House of Cards ever did. There's a royal wedding this weekend. Ladies, I know you're excited. Oh, and there's a mob of recruiters just waiting outside these doors for all of you. Because you will be the ones who determine what the economy will look like for decades to come. And you will also determine what business and employee culture will feel like, how people will invest their days and the level of joy in their work. You will have a big influence on people's lives and their families' lives. And along those lines, I want to share a few ideas with you today. Okay, so we've been going to get down to business now. We've just been having fun up until now. Okay, so this is the advice part. Listen. I mean, yes, listen right now, but that also happens to be my first piece of advice. Listen to those around you. It's the foundation of kindness, of generosity. It will make you a better leader, a better colleague, a better spouse, a better friend, and better at your chosen profession. One of my inspirations, LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman, famously says that starting a company is like throwing yourself off a cliff and assembling an airplane on the way down. It can be hard to listen when your life feels like that. You're in go mode and you think, you can't slow down, right? But if you don't stop and listen to the people around you, you'll miss the advice on where's the parachute. You'll miss out on support, information, and inspiration. You'll miss the chance to be generous to someone who in turn will be generous to you when you need it most. And most importantly, you'll miss the opportunities to be kind. In my own life, I don't regret the chances I didn't take. I regret the times when I was too wrapped up in my own airplane building to listen and learn, or notice when someone I cared about needed me. And I imagine, for many of you, it will be the same. I built Kendra Scott on 3 core pillars: family, fashion, philanthropy. These pillars have been my North Star every phase of my business, and together they add up something far greater than the sum of their parts. Because we create more than just beautiful jewelry. We create joy. By being a company that is family friendly, by focusing on products that make people happy, and by being committed to good causes. At Kendra Scott, we teach each other and our customers like family. They are our sisters and our brothers. And I challenge each of you to do the same. Support each other. Lean on each other. Learn from each other. Because together you will be stronger. You will have more joy in your own days, and you will create more joy for the people around you, and that, graduates, is success. Find your core values and the things that drive you, that are more important than money, the things that make you giddy every day. For me, it's having the space to be a good parent to my 3 boys. Working in fashion, the only thing I ever wanted to do since I was a little kid, and giving back. For many businesses in their infancy, it's difficult to give back because resources can be limited, but you can find a way. You can give your time, you can volunteer, you can show up when it counts. Whether you start your own company or join one, I hope you'll remember that kindness and generosity are the truest forms of success. And I don't just mean in your heart. Because today, culture is brand. And that synthesis will only grow stronger for years to come. Brands must be authentic because there are very few veils left between business and the public. In decades past, a company had a public face, and then there was what happened behind closed doors. That's why we have the Me Too movement and Time's Up today, right? That's the old way of doing business. Those days are gone. It's all out in the open now. It's all messy and convoluted and sometimes really delightful and then sometimes just a little weird. But that's the reality in which you're entering the business world today. There is no more privacy. Everything is on the record all of the time. Yay for you! My stepfather told me that we have a very short time on this earth. And while you're here, You do good. That's true in life as well as business. Don't just do good to check a box. Do good because it's the right thing to do, because it will make you happier than you appreciate today, because it will help your cause and build your brand. As business leaders, you have a responsibility to the people in the world around you. Graduates, we've all heard that what starts here at UT changes the world, right? What are you going to do to change your world for the better? I know for me, when it's all said and done and I'm sitting on my rocking porch here in Austin, Texas, looking back, I'll be happy about the time I spent with the people I love, both at home and at work. I will be happy that I was able to create something amazing and that we made a huge impact on the world around us. Listen, be kind, give back. Identify and live by your values. It will make all the difference in your life and your career. Okay, so now let's talk about change. Some of us struggle with this, but we have a few guarantees in our lives and world that everything is going to continue to evolve. Nothing ever stays the same. And if we're not agile, if we don't adapt, we can easily be left behind. Charles Darwin said, "It's not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who can best manage change." No other generation in human history is likely to see the level of transformation as profound as the changes you are going to experience and even lead in technology, in science, in business, government, and life. You've been taught by the best. But we, your elders, I don't like the way that sounds, have not seen what you will see. We've watched life-changing technologies come and go. Hey, I remember my family's first VCR, an answering machine. Those were groundbreaking technology. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Thank you, parents and faculty. My point is, teachers, your parents, all of us, all we can do is give you the playbook. But you have to adapt to a rapidly changing game. You must learn to pivot quickly and to adjust what's happening around you. And sometimes you have to let go of your ideas of how things should be, or you think you want them to be, because there may be something even better in store. Something that's going to light you up and keep you passionately committed for years to come. And occasionally, you must fall flat on your face. Speaking of which, few people know about the first business I started. I got the idea when I was 19, and I was spending a lot of time at MD Anderson with my wonderful stepfather, Rob, who battled brain cancer. I got to know many of the women who were coming in for treatments of their own. Brave, strong women who were in the fight of their lives and whom I admired so much. I wanted to use my love of fashion to do something good, and meeting them inspired me to start my first business, a hat shop. I ran every facet of it myself, from accounting to sales to marketing to working the shop floor. Okay, well, not all by myself. I had a little bit of help. Thanks, Mom. I was certain hats were going to be the next big thing, yes! Oh, no. But no matter how I worked, the business just wouldn't take off. I had to throw in the towel. I lost all of my savings, and I'd also lost my stepfather. It was crushing, and I felt like such a failure. I felt as though I'd let my family down, and worse, I let Rob down. Michelle Obama said that the quicker and more resilient you become about picking yourself up after a failure, the better you are. Okay, so now what? I had to get a job to pay the bills. And even though it wasn't what I set out to do, it taught me a lot. And I never gave up the dream. So eventually, I started over with $500, building Kendra Scott out of the spare bedroom. Along the way, people joined me who are still with me years later, like family, because that is how I believe business is done best. Today, together, the Kendra Scott family is a billion-dollar business. Every lesson I learned in that hat shop can be found in Kendra Scott. That hat shop was my MBA. I needed that experience. That failure was a gift, and it became a bridge to the next better thing, the thing that worked. My friend and fellow entrepreneur Whitney Wolfe says that once you accept that failure is a good thing, it can be a huge propeller towards success. You have to go through the setbacks to be successful and to become the person you want to be. Don't expect a life without challenges and heartbreak and struggles. In those early days of Kendra Scott, I heard a lot of no's before getting my foot and my jewelry in the door of leading retailers. But failure was not an option. I had to keep pushing, and I didn't let those no's get in my head, and neither will you. Adapt. Be agile. Change is constant, whether you like it or not. Catch the curveballs and have fun doing it. And don't worry too much if you drop a few. It happens to the best of us. And it gives someone else the chance to lift you up. I want to leave you with one more thought before we all go and celebrate, even though it looks like some of you really celebrated it a lot last night. Oh yeah, Texas. More than a generation ago, the great Governor Ann Richards said, "We have forgotten to be our brothers and sisters' keepers. We have forgotten that the #1 goal is to love one another." That may have been true then, but I believe in your generation, you are going to change that. You will succeed in what you set out to do, and it will be because you devote yourselves to your passions, to your dreams, and to bringing joy and happiness to the people around you. You are amazing. And as you begin the next phase of your lives, I want to thank you in advance for your leadership in a tough and exciting time. I want to remind you to never let the no's get in your head. And I want to congratulate you on both the failures and the triumphs that lie ahead. One will lead to the other and sustain you throughout your lives. We are all so very proud of you today, and we are counting on you. I want to wish each and every one of you very sincerely a life full of joy and happiness. God bless all of you. God bless the state of Texas. Congratulations and hook 'em horns!